Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about Class B power amplifiers. In a power amplifier, if we select the Q point on x-axis, then that type of an amplifiers are called Class B power amplifiers. So in Class B power amplifiers, the output signal will reproduces for half cycle of input signal. Only half cycle, which means that 180 degrees will be reproduces at the output. Let us see a single-ended Class B circuit. In this circuit, only one transistor is used, NPN type transistor, that is Q1. This is the input signal and this one is the output signal. So if you observe the output signal, only one half cycle is reproduced at the output side, which means that only 180 degrees was reproduced at the output and remaining 180 was not reproduced. So the output is not a faithful reproduction of the input. So this type of output signals are called distorted signals. In order to eliminate this distortion, we are going to use a pair of transistors which are chosen in such a way that each transistor will conduct in alternative cycles. One transistor will conduct for one half cycle and another transistor will conduct for another half cycle. The Class B amplifiers are mainly classified into two types. So one is push-pull Class B amplifier and the second one is complementary symmetry Class B amplifier. The classification was made by using which type of transistors are used in the circuit. If same pair of transistors are used, either both are NPN or both are PNP, then that type of transistor configuration is called push-pull configuration. If different type, opposite type of transistors are used, which means one is NPN type, another one is a PNP type, then that type of configuration is called complementary symmetry configuration. This is the output waveform of a Class B power amplifier. Here you can observe the Q point was located on x-axis and only one half cycle will be reproduced at the output side. Let us move to the first classification of Class B amplifier, push-pull Class B amplifier. In this amplifier, we are using the two transistors Q1 and Q2. Both are NPN type, both are identical to. And we are using the two transformers. One is called input transformer and another one is called output transformer. The input transformer secondary was center tapped and the output transformer primary was center tapped to VCC. Here we are using input center tap transformer because of that at any time only one transistor will be in on state, either Q1 or Q2. If Q1 is in on position, then Q2 automatically in off position, because this center tap transformer will give equal and opposite sign magnitudes. The basis of the two transistors was given to the center tapped output of transformer. Collectors of transistors were given to primary of output transformer and the emitters of the two transistors are given to the ground terminal. So the output transformer secondary was given to the load side. Just quickly see the operation. As I told, during the positive half cycle, the Q1 will be on and Q2 will be in off position, which means that at a time only one transistor will be in on state. So the load current will be in a positive half cycle only, which means that if we give a positive half cycle, the load current also in a positive half cycle. So during the negative half cycle of input signal, Q1 is off position and Q2 is in on position. So the load current will flow in a negative half cycle. So the input signal is negative half cycle and load current is also in a negative cycle. So the input and the load are in phase when we use the push-pull type of class B power amplifier. Let us see the operation using this diagram. So here the load is nothing but a loudspeaker. Capital T1 is the input transformer. Capital T2 is the output transformer. During the positive half cycle, the upper side of the transformer is positive and downside of the transformer is negative. If we apply the AC signal like this, then the upper side of the secondary will produce a positive half cycle and downside of the center tapped transformer will produce a negative half cycle. So because of the positive half cycle produced at the upper side, so this positive voltage is given to the Q1 transistor, therefore the Q1 will be in on position. So as it is a negative half cycle, the Q2 will stops working, it will be in cutoff region. Therefore only Q1 will be in acting, that will provide an output signal through the collector circuit. As it is a CE configuration, input and output signals are out of phase, so that the input signal is in positive half cycle, therefore the output signal produced by the Q1 is the negative half cycle, which is 180 degrees phase shifted version. So here if you observe the center tap transformer 2 upper side has minus and plus, which means that it is a negative half cycle that will produce a positive half cycle at the secondary of the output transformer. So the load current direction is positive half cycle. So we can observe that the input is a positive half cycle and output load current is also positive half cycle. Both are in phase direction. Let us see what is happening in the negative half cycle. So in the negative half cycle, the transformer 1 upper side is negative and downside is the positive. Because of this, the same exact replica will be produced at the upper side of center tapped secondary, which means negative half cycle will produces at the upper side, and in the downside we will get a positive half cycle. So as it is a negative half cycle, this negative half cycle will move the Q1 into cutoff region. Because of this positive half cycle at the secondary of the T1, the Q2 will be in on position. Therefore, in this state, Q1 is in off and Q2 is in on position. So, as Q2 is also CE amplifier, the input and output signals both are 180 degrees phase shifted version, so that if you give a positive half cycle, you will get a negative half cycle only at the collector. But this terminal is given to the VCC so that when compared with the plus and minus, it will becomes as a positive half cycle. It will appears like a positive half cycle. This positive half cycle at the primary of transformer 2 will develop a negative half cycle at the load side. So this is the operation of the class B push-pull power amplifier. If you observe the input and output waveforms, this is the input AC signal, and these signals are base currents of IB1 and IB2 of the Q1, Q2 transistors. So as the upper side of primary transformer is given to the Q1, therefore IB1 is in phase with the input signal. As the downside is given to the Q2 transistor base, then the IB2 is in opposite direction, exactly opposite to the input signal. Therefore, IB1 and IB2 are equal in magnitude but opposite in sign. So these are all the IC1 current, output currents of Q1 and Q2. IC1 is the output current of the transistor 1 Q1, and IC2 is the output current of transistor 2. So if you observe, this IC1 will produced only during the positive half cycle of input signal, and IC2 will produced only during the negative half cycle of input signal. So if you combine the both currents of IC1 and IC2, then the load current will appear in a positive and negative half cycle, which is exactly same or in phase with the input signal. Let us see the advantages of Class B push-pull amplifier, it has a better efficiency, that is 78.5%. It is better when compared with the Class A amplifier. So the Class A amplifier series spread has 25% only, the efficiency is only 25%, and for the Class B amplifiers the efficiency is 50%. But 78.5 is more than the Class A type of amplifiers. And one more advantage is, as we are using transformer coupling, therefore the maximum AC power will be delivered to the load. That is, there is no problem of impedance matching. The transformers will act as very good impedance matching devices. As we are using transformer coupling, it produces a very good impedance matching. If you see the disadvantage, it has some disadvantage like as we are using transformer, the circuit complexity will be increased because if you see in the circuit, both transformers are center tap transformers, so that the circuit will become complex. And one more disadvantage is, we are using transformers. The size of transformers are huge, bulky. That's why the size of the circuit will increases. These two are the disadvantages of push-pull Class B amplifier. So that we are moving to the advanced version of this, that is complementary symmetry push-pull amplifier.
Let us see the derivation for efficiency of Class B power amplifier. The efficiency eta is equal to AC power divided by DC power into 100. The DC power is a multiplication of DC voltage into DC current. The DC voltage is VCC and DC current is average DC current of a sinusoidal signal. The average DC current of a sinusoidal signal is 2 Im by pi. So if we apply, in order to get the average, IDC is equal to 1 by 2 pi root of 0 to 2 pi Im sin t dt. If we split the limits and do the derivation, we will get the 2 Im by pi. We are going to substitute that value in the PDC equation, DC power equation. So the PDC is equal to VCC into IDC. IDC is 2 Im by pi, and Im, the maximum current, is equal to Vm by RL. Im, the maximum current, is equal to Vm by RL. For maximum efficiency, Vm is equal to VCC. So in order to get the maximum efficiency, Vm is equal to VCC. Therefore, Im will becomes VCC by RL. Therefore, the DC power PDC is equal to VCC into 2 VCC by pi RL. So in this equation, Im was replaced with VCC by RL. Therefore, PDC is equal to VCC into 2 VCC by pi RL. If we multiply the VCC into VCC, we will get VCC square. Therefore, PDC is equal to 2 VCC square by pi RL. That is equation number 1. So, in order to get the AC power delivered to the load, we have to multiply AC voltage into AC current. So, Vrms into Irms. Vrms can be written as Vm by root 2 and Irms can be written as Im by root 2. Therefore, Vm Im by 2, root 2 into root 2 is 2. So, we know that for maximum efficiency, Vm is equal to VCC. And Im can be written as VCC by RL. Therefore, this equation, PAC equation, can be written as VCC square by 2RL. By substituting the equation 1 and equation 2 in the efficiency equation eta, which results 5 by 4 into 100, which is approximately equal to 78.4%. That is the efficiency of our Class B power amplifier.
The disadvantages in Class B push-pull amplifier were overcome in a Class B complementary symmetry push-pull amplifier. So this is a circuit for a Class B complementary symmetry push-pull amplifier. In this we are using the two transistors. One is NPN type, another one is a PNP type. this NPN type transistor Q1 will on for the positive half cycle of input voltage, and the PNP type of transistor Q2 will on for the negative half cycle of input signal. So the both emitters were joined here and then given to the load resistor. Therefore, we are taking output across the emitters of these transistors, which means that these two transistors are in CC configuration, common collector configuration. So as we are using common collector configuration, there is no problem of impedance matching. So we are using the two supply voltages. One is plus VCC, another one is minus VCC. The plus VCC is supply voltage for NPN type transistor, and minus VCC is supply voltage for the PNP type of transistor. So during the positive half cycle of input signal, the Q1 will on and Q2 will be in off state, because in the positive half cycle, the NPN transistor will on and PNP transistor will be in off position. During the negative half cycle, the Q2 will in on position, because the negative half cycle will drives the PNP transistor into on state and drives the NPN transistor into off state. So at any time only one transistor is working. That's why this is called complementary symmetry push-pull amplifier. Let us see the operation quickly. For positive half cycle of input signal, NPN transistor will on and PNP will be in off state. And for the negative half cycle, NPN will be in off state and PNP will be in on state. Let us see this operation graphically. So during the positive half cycle of input signal, the Q1, which is NPN type transistor, will be in on state, and the Q2 PNP type transistor will be in off state. As we are taking output across the emitter, so which works like an emitter follower, therefore input signal and output signal both are in phase. So for positive half cycle of input signal, we will get a positive half cycle at the output side too. During the negative half cycle, the Q1, which is NPN type transistor, will off, and Q2, which is PNP type transistor, that will on. So this is also a emitter follower or CC amplifier. The input and output signals both are in phase. As the input is negative half cycle, output is also a negative half cycle. So for positive half cycle, we will get a positive half cycle across the load, and for the negative half cycle of input signal, we will get a negative half cycle across the load too. Therefore, the input signal and the load signals both are in phase. If you see the advantages, the efficiency of complementary symmetry push-pull amplifier is 78.5%, which is same as the class B push-pull amplifier. So the another advantage is, as we are using common collector configuration, there is no problem of impedance matching, because the output impedance of a CC amplifier is low. Transformer less circuit, because the circuit complexity and cost will reduced. Complementary symmetry push-pull amplifier has some disadvantages. Those are, it requires the two power supplies. One is plus VCC, another one is minus VCC. And one more disadvantage is output is distorted due to crossover distortion. This crossover distortion we will discuss in the next topic. So the derivation for efficiency is same as class B push-pull amplifier. Next topic is crossover distortion. The crossover distortion occurs in both types of class B amplifiers. The crossover distortion is a type of distortion which caused while switching the operation between one transistor to another transistor in push-pull power amplifiers. So in push-pull power amplifier, we have the two transistors. While switching the operation from one transistor to another transistor, this type of distortion will occur. Why this distortion is occurring means, when the applied input voltage is less than 0.7 volts, which is cut-in voltage of a base emitter junction, This is 0.7 volts for silicon type of transistors and 0.3 volts for germanium type of transistors. The collector current remains 0 and the transistor remains in cutoff region. So, when the input voltage is in the range of 0 to 0.7 volts, the transistor will be in off state. Because of that, we are getting no output. This results a distortion. Let us understand the crossover distortion through this diagram. For NPN type of transistor, from 0 to 0.7 volts, there is no output. For a PNP type of transistor, 0 to minus 0.7, there is no output. The region between 0.7 to minus 0.7 volts is called dead zone. So in this dead zone, even though the input is present, we don't have any output signal. So from this graph, we can easily understand, even though in this dead zone, we have input signal, but there is no output signal. So this will result at every zero crossing of our sinusoidal signal. So this makes the crossover distortion. Let us see this graph. So from VBE to minus VBE. So VBE is for the NPN type of transistor minus VBE for the PNP type of transistor. In this region, the output voltage is 0. So this is called crossover distortion regions or dead zones. So in this region, Q1 and Q2, both transistors will be in off state. If you observe, during the positive half cycle, Q1 is in on state and Q2 is in off state, and during the negative half cycle, Q1 is off and Q2 is on position. But in this region, between VBE to minus VBE, the both transistors will be in off state. So this will result crossover distortion. To eliminate the crossover distortion, what we have to do? The crossover distortion is because of cut-in voltage of transistor. So in order to overcome this, we have to apply a small forward bias to the input of the transistors. Therefore, the crossover distortion is eliminated by using class AB type of an amplifier.